So you're interested in doing a reverse sear on a tenderloin. Well, let me warn you right now that once you do the reverse sear on the tenderloin, you'll probably never cook it another way again. I mean, it's just that good, and we're going to walk you through it today. Of course, you're going to have a couple of things. First is, a great piece of meat. Look at this tenderloin I've got right here. This has just been trimmed. I haven't tied it up yet, so you'll obviously need some butcher's twine to go with that. And, really, the ingredients are very simple. You're going to want some olive oil, a little kosher salt, some black pepper, and a nice wine to enjoy while you're prepping the meat. So, a little sip of wine there, and we are going to prep this tenderloin for a reverse sear, and you're going to love this. So now it's time to prep our tenderloins. We're going to be cooking 3 tenderloins today, so I've got them in various forms of prep. First thing you want to do, of course, is tie off your tenderloin. We've already got this one tied off right here. And this tenderloin right here is halfway tied off, and we're going to tie off this one. That's what the butcher twine is for. Make sure you pull off enough twine. General rule for me is I go 5 lengths of the tenderloin. So you take your butcher twine, and before you use it, you take the tenderloin, and at the very tip, you make a slice. Right here at the tip of the tenderloin, about halfway through. That way you can flop the tail over and make a nice tie on that so that it all cooks evenly. Also, you want to tie it up so that the front part of your tenderloin, where the flap is right here, gets tied up nice and tight too. Take your butcher's twine, place it over the tail end. Make sure you leave a very long tag end. You'll see what that's used for later. And simply make a knot in here, cinch it down really tight, and then I usually throw a couple of granny knots on top of it just for fun. And very easily, you make a loop, you go through the tenderloin, you keep that top one on there, and you cinch it down, and it starts to tie off the tenderloin. See how you have your loop, and then it comes down to another tie off. Then you simply make another loop, place it through the tenderloin, come on down, cinch it right down, and you can see right here how it's making a nice little loop with a string going through, holding all of the meat together very nicely. Then what you're going to have when you're done is a tied up tenderloin, and you'll flip it back over, and you'll take the rest of the twine and you'll run it through the loops in the bottom all the way to the back, cinching up every bit of the meat on the tenderloin. Everything's nice and tight. That'll ensure a nice even cook. And so now we just, generously start to apply olive oil to it. And I don't skimp on that. I don't get crazy with my seasoning. I mean, this is a great cut of meat. It doesn't need a whole lot of seasonings. You don't need to go buy something at the store that, pre-seasoned your meat. All you need is some good old kosher salt, like so. Not a ton of it. Then some good old black pepper. Look at that. It's already looking good, isn't it? So after tying them up and doing the prep, of course, the next step is to put them on the grill. And boy, don't those look good. And see all that smoke coming off the grill right there. I mean, man, these things are just going to be so incredible. Now, I'm going to keep the grill around 200 and below. Slow, low temps. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the internal temp of one of the tenderloins up to about 120 before I pull it. You can see I have a temperature probe inside the thickest part of the meat right there. Then I've also got another probe to see what the surface temp of the grill is, and I'll be monitoring that remotely. And boy, that smoke is looking good right there, isn't it? So we're going to close this on down. So here's one of the really cool things about a reverse sear. I'm actually cooking for 3 different families tonight. Got a good friend, he's in the hospital, and we're doing meals for his family. And so, of course, we're doing a tenderloin for him. I mean, what else are you going to do? So the rest of the food is not ready yet. We're running behind on some of these side dishes for a tenderloin. So you can see right here on the temperature gauge, we're at 120 exactly right now. So it's not quite medium rare. We're just popping it open, and look at those. Nice and brown. Looking great. They're going to have a great smoked flavor to them. I'm going to go ahead and pull the temperature probe out, And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull these right now. Going to put them on the foil. And of course, we all know that they're still going to continue to cook while in the foil, but I'm going to let these rest for just a little while before I sear them to make sure everything gets timed out perfectly. And you can't do that if you seared it beforehand, because then it's going to continue to really cook. You'd have to pull it early to be kind of weird, but this way, when you put that sear on, it'll bring it back up to temperature, and it'll be absolutely perfect. We're going to lift up the grill. You can see, I mean, I've got it flaming hot, and I want it super hot. And we're going to take the tenderloins now. They've been sitting here resting. You can see the juices have flowed out. We're going to take this sucker. We're going to stick it right on there. Boom! We're going to do 2 of these at a time. And bam! And I'm going to shut that down. I'm going to do about a minute aside. That's it. Then we're going to slice one open and see how incredibly yummy it's going to be. I just took the smaller one off of the grill, and we're going to go ahead and, I know this is like horrible, but we're going to slice it, and I want you to look at the inside of that tenderloin. Here it goes, right here. And look at that. Perfect medium rare. Perfect medium rare tenderloin on the reverse sear. Does not get any better than this. You want to be a rock star with your circle of friends? Do the reverse sear with a tenderloin. You will be reverend among everybody eating at dinner. And I'm talking, they will love it. Do it.